Answering questions from the internet. We are answering SEO questions from the internet. If you like technical search engine optimization, this episode is going to be so much fun. We are talking about programmatic SEO using artificial intelligence. What? So many buzzwords. Programmatic SEO, artificial intelligence, questions from the internet. This is on Reddit, and this question is called Things to Look Out For with Getting UGC SEO to Work. UGC stands for User Generated Content. SEO, of course, stands for search engine optimization. Maybe my favorite topic, among my favorite topics. I also like social media. I like growth hacking, digital marketing, growth marketing. Love all of these things, and definitely SEO. I've been doing SEO for a long time. I've done it for some of the biggest companies in the world, like ADP, Procter & Gamble, lots of really big ones. And I'm going to answer a super technical question right here. So if you are maybe a developer and you're thinking about using AI, you want your AI stuff to rank on Google, and you're maybe thinking about programmatic SEO, where you have pages that use similar terms and everything is optimized, and all of these pages are being indexed, and it's user-generated content. Well, let me give you some examples. I'm going to give you some examples. It's going to make it really easy. Here's an example from a site that I saw recently. It generates coloring books for anything, like pages that you can color in. So users say, I want a dinosaur coloring page. It uses generative AI to make a black and white image, just heavy with the lines. And then people can take that page, print it out, and then color in the lines. Very simple. Whenever somebody does this, a new page is created. Dinosaur coloring book or dinosaur coloring pages. And this happens whenever a user creates a new page. And so users are just writing in what they want. And then there's accompanying information for each page. So maybe the page title is dinosaur coloring page. And then the meta description is, this is a dinosaur coloring book page that anyone can color in with black lines and white spots for coloring in, something like that. You have an H1, your main header, which says the same thing, dinosaur coloring book page. And then you have a little description about why this is good and what this is. And that description might be generated by AI, and it's very short. So you have a mix of these variables, which the user generates, and the variables fill in all the meta tags. And then you have the AI description, which is generated based on the variable from the user. And so that is an example of programmatic SEO and also AI programmatic SEO. This is the question that I am answering. The question is from the search engine optimization subreddit, r/SEO. I run an AI website that has been getting decent growth since starting at 3 months ago. Wow, it started 3 months ago, up to 600 to 700 daily clicks now via programmatic landing pages on a WordPress site. So started 3 months ago and getting 600 to 700 daily clicks. However, we believe our main search engine optimization source should be UGC, user-generated content from the web app itself, not the landing pages, which sits on a different subdomain. So this person has landing pages, which are getting a bulk of the clicks from Google. So far, these landing pages have dwarfed the user-generated content aspect in search engine optimization, despite us having many more indexed user-generated content pages than landing pages. Any ideas of what we should look out for to get the user-generated content to rank well? That is the question. So basically, Google is indexing way more of its user-generated content pages. However, its standard landing pages are the ones that are getting the most clicks. And so the question is, what should this person do? And so I actually wrote a message to this person, and then I said, you know what, why don't I share this on the podcast? And that's why I'm recording this episode. So here are some mistakes that I commonly see. First of all, if it's a programmatic site with AI, it might not be using server-side rendering. So you got to be using server-side rendering, which means that Google and other search engines can crawl your content. This person might have pages that are indexed, but Google can't understand what is being indexed. So server-side rendering needs to be put in so that Google can understand what is on the page. But that's basics. And a lot of developers who know about SEO, they already know about server-side rendering. The other thing is this person needs to make sure he or she has a clear information architecture. So I'm going to give an example. This comes from Adify.app, which I talked about on the podcast before. Very fuel your site, because at one point it was ranking for 400,000 keywords using a combination of AI programmatic SEO. And the way that Adify.app works is it is a Chrome extension where somebody uses it to get a summary of a YouTube video, and then they generate this summary for themselves, but that summary also gets generated as a page on the Adify.app website. It's just Adify.app. And then that page is categorized, and then there are these category hub pages, and these category hub pages are linked to from the footer. So right now, if you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on X, you'll see an image of one of these category hub pages. Now, what they did is actually, I think they are cloaking so that Google will see one thing and users will see another. So Google will see the links in the footer to these hub pages and users will not. And I think they are doing that so that they won't get caught. Basically, they wipe themselves of their previous pages and then put themselves back in. I'm not suggesting cloaking. Cloaking is very against the rules. But what you need to do with this is you need to have these category hub pages. So they should have information architecture, means things are categorized well. Things are laid out in a clear fashion. The URLs are very clear. So it could be like root domain / category / what the actual page is. And then you know that if you go to the categories subfolder, then you're going to see a lot more pages and you can click around and explore. And then that category subfolder is linked to from the footer. And what I said is you want to have this very clear information architecture where each page, each user-generated content page is no more than 3 clicks away from the homepage, or 4 if there's pagination. There might be pagination. I'm telling you, this is a technical episode. But you need these pages to be accessible, very accessible. You want to also have your user-generated content pages having a separate sitemap. You need to submit that sitemap to Google, and you can even make it so that pages that are too thin, this person didn't give that much detail, so I don't know what the programmatic AI content is, but pages that are too thin of content aren't included in the sitemap, or they have no index on them. So you're telling Google not to index pages that are too thin, because Google also gives a crawl budget to websites. So it will only crawl a certain amount of pages each day, each week, whatever it is, based on the authority and traffic that that site is getting. And so you can both prioritize pages to Google and ensure that pages are crawled with Google that are not too thin, because too thin, it's not going to rank well in the first place. You don't want those pages crawled. And too thin means like not enough content on the page. I'm going to recommend my Adify.app article because I wrote a whole breakdown article on Adify.app back when they were ranking for hundreds of thousands of keywords. And there's so much to learn from this article. You can just search "this website did not exist 1 year ago," Edward Sturm, or you can go to my website, edwardsturm.com /articles. Search on the page, "this website didn't exist 1 year ago," and you can find that article. And basically what happened was Google started to make a huge crackdown on AI generated content. And so they scrubbed themselves of all their content and started afresh. I'm going to give a quick example of one of these hub pages this is not programmatic SEO and this is not AI, but it's still a great example of a hub page and very clear information architecture. I share this all the time on the podcast because it's a great example of bottom of funnel search engine optimization, but I'm not going to be talking about that this time. So it's just bitrix24.com. And then if you go to bitrix24.com and you go all the way to the footer, you'll see in resources, uses, and alternatives, they're both hub pages for different types of keywords. So if you click on alternatives, for example, the information architecture is clear. It's bitrix24.com /alternatives. And then you see free SalesMate alternative, Maple CRM alternative, ClockShark alternative, free Zoho Forms alternative. And then it's laid out on the page in a clear way with headers. And then you click on one, and each one of these is its own page using the meta tags properly and targeting the content. And so with AI programmatic SEO, you might have the meta tags, which are both user-generated variables or variables that are generated by AI. And this is an example of very clear information architecture where these landing pages are less than 3 clicks away from the homepage, or actually 2 clicks away, because the hub page is in the footer. And when Aidify.app had hundreds of thousands of pages ranking, each page was no more than 4 clicks away from the footer. All right, that's this episode. This is episode 325 of The Edward Show. This is a very technical episode. I applaud anyone who has made it this far. I think it will be very valuable to some people, and for other people, not very valuable. But if you are a developer and you are interested in doing AI programmatic SEO, I think this episode will be great. And AI programmatic SEO is tremendous source of traffic. I will give a disclaimer though. Google says that they don't like this content. Programmatic SEO, Google is fine with. AI content, unchecked AI content is very dangerous. AI content that is not human reviewed is very dangerous. And if pages are being generated in mass, then there is a chance of a penalization. And Google has made it clear that if they penalize one site for using bulk AI pages, other websites that are linked to in Google Search Console, which is Google's proprietary tool for accessing their search index. So you might have other domains that you have submitted to Google through Google Search Console. If you are caught with one site, every site gets a penalization. That's what other people have reported. So this is very dangerous, but it's working for lots of people. I personally am not doing it. I have software apps and I'm not doing it with my software apps, even though I can, just because for me, the risk isn't worth it. But for other people, they don't care. And if you don't care, this is the way to do SEO for AI programmatic apps. All right, that's the episode. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you again. Hope this was valuable. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.